If you've ever trained as a hypnotherapist, somewhere along the way you were taught to tell a client to take a deep breath. It's woven into almost every certification. It shows up in scripts. It gets framed as the calming move that opens the door to deeper work. I used to say it every session for years. Then I stopped and the work got better. Today I want to walk you through why. Not as a rule, because there's still a place for the guided breath, but as a deeper understanding of what's actually happening in the client's nervous system when you give that instruction, and why telling them to do it past the opening minutes of a session can be the thing that breaks the work. Let me start with where the guided breath belongs. The first few minutes of a session are about arrival. Your client just walked in from a meeting, from traffic, from picking up a kid from school. Their nervous system is still moving at the speed of the day. Before you can do any real work, that nervous system needs to slow down. A guided breath at this stage helps. You're inviting them to take their attention out of the day they came from and into the body in the chair. You're settling the heart rate. You're shifting them from sympathetic activation toward parasympathetic. This is where most certifications are right. A few rounds of breathe in deeply, breathe out slowly at the start of the session does its job. The mistake isn't using the breath at the opening. The mistake is keeping that instruction going as you guide the client deeper. Here's the underlying mechanism. The breath is governed by two systems at once. There's the autonomic nervous system, which runs the breath without your awareness. It's been keeping you alive every second of every day since you were born. It's the unconscious mind handling a vital function. And there's the conscious override, which lets you take a breath on purpose, hold it, slow it down. Both systems can drive the breath, but only one of them can drive it at a time. The moment you tell a client to take a deep breath, you flip them out of autonomic and into conscious control. You ask the conscious mind to step in and run a function that was running fine without it. And here's the problem. Hypnosis is the opposite of conscious control. The state we call hypnosis is what happens when the conscious mind agrees to step aside and let the subconscious take the lead. That's the entire game. Every instruction you give that calls the conscious mind back to the front of the room costs you depth. The breath instruction is one of the loudest of those calls. You're telling the conscious mind, notice this thing, manage it, direct it. And the conscious mind, which was just starting to drift, comes back online to comply. You've just rebuilt the wall you spent the last 10 minutes dismantling. Here's where it gets worse. For clients who already carry anxiety, the problem isn't just lost depth. There's something most training misses entirely. Anxious clients are already in a hypnotic state. The hypervigilance, the looping thoughts, the feeling of being trapped inside their own body, that's not normal waking consciousness. That's an altered state. It's a hypnotic state with a negative valence, and it's running them constantly. When an anxious client walks into your office, they don't need you to induce a state. They're already in one. The work is to shift the quality of the state, not to deepen the depth of it. This is why directing the breath can be so destabilizing for them. You're asking them to turn attention toward the system that's already running their anxiety. You're amplifying what they came in trying to escape. The breath that felt fine while their attention was elsewhere now feels too shallow or too fast or like they can't quite get enough air. They start trying to control it. The control makes it worse. Sometimes it tips into a panic attack right there in your chair. I had a client years ago who came to me for panic attacks. Smart, accomplished, terrified of her own body. In the first session, I did what I'd been trained to do. I asked her to take some slow, deep breaths. Within a minute, she opened her eyes. Her chest was tight. She couldn't catch her breath. She was on the edge of a panic attack, and we hadn't even started the work. I stopped using that instruction with her. What worked instead was directing her attention somewhere else entirely. The body, getting heavy. This is the move I want to give you. For anxious clients, instead of directing the breath, direct the sensation of weight. Notice the weight of your body in the chair. Notice your hands resting on your legs. Notice how your feet feel on the floor. Notice how that weight is settling deeper with each passing moment. Heaviness signals safety to the nervous system. It signals gravity, settling. The parasympathetic shift you were trying to create with the breath, but without asking the conscious mind to override anything, the body is already doing it. There's nothing for the client to manage. Within a few sessions of using this approach, my client was doing real work. The breath wasn't the problem. The instruction to direct the breath was. That experience shaped how I work now. Anxious clients are not edge cases. They are most of the people walking through the door. If your default instruction creates panic in the people who came to you for help with panic, the instruction is wrong. So if you're not directing the breath, what do you do with it? You read it. The breath is one of the most reliable real-time signals you have about what's happening in the client's nervous system. You don't need to control it to use it. You just need to watch it. Here's what to look for. Rhythm. Is it steady and even or short and shallow? Even rhythm tells you they're settled. Short and shallow tells you they're activated. Depth, is it moving the chest or moving the belly? Chest breathing means activation. Belly breathing means safety. Holding patterns. Watch for the moments where the breath stops. People hold their breath at the edge of something difficult. If you see the breath catch, you've just identified a place worth slowing down with. Sighs. The spontaneous sigh is the nervous system's way of releasing pressure. When you see one, your client just downshifted. That's a moment to either deepen further or land a suggestion. Their system has just told you it's ready. You don't say any of this out loud. You watch it. You let it inform your pacing. You let the client's breath tell you when to move forward and when to give them more time. This is what I mean when I talk about reading versus directing. Most of what you do as a practitioner is observation. The body is telling you everything you need to know if you'll just stop trying to manage it. The breath is one example of something larger. Most of the moves we were taught to make as practitioners are forms of direction. Direct the breath, direct the imagery, direct the focus. The whole performance model of hypnosis is built on the idea that the practitioner is in charge of what's happening and the client is following. That model breaks down the moment you start working with real people. Real people don't follow scripts. Their nervous systems do what their nervous systems do, and the practitioner who tries to override that is the practitioner whose sessions feel like a fight. The shift I want to leave you with is this. Stop trying to direct what you could be reading. Stop overriding systems that were already working. Trust that the client's nervous system has more wisdom about what it needs than your script does. The breath was running fine before you walked in the room. Let it keep running. Watch it. Use what it's telling you. That's the work. If this kind of thinking maps to how you want to practice, the rest of my work goes deeper into it. The book is called Advanced Hypnosis, A Practitioner's Guide Beyond Scripts and Techniques. It's the book I wish I'd had when I was learning. Link is in the description. Thanks for watching.